Catastrophic floods have devastated Texas Hill Country, leaving families in despair and communities in ruins. As local heroes and faith-driven volunteers rally to help, the pressing question remains, why does Washington consistently seem to lag behind?
Hello, and welcome to That News Show, where we discuss the latest facts, fakes, and hypocrisy as reported by the legacy media. Let's roll the tape.
Time and again, it's the local heroes, Texas first responders, church volunteers, and neighbors who rise to the occasion, not federal agencies, which often appear to be playing catch-up. Why is this concept so difficult for our leaders to grasp? Fox News reports that the Coast Guard continues its search with hope and prayer as dozens of children remain missing in the Texas floods. Perhaps if we focused more on protecting our own and less on international affairs, such tragedies would be less frequent. Start the clip.
My daughter is alive because you guys were able to assist her today. So, I mean, I can only imagine that they're grateful. When we were picking up folks, have young girls who are asking, about if we knew where their siblings were. And, at that point, we're just trying to get and help those who we can assist.
The dedication and courage of Texas first responders, the National Guard, and the Coast Guard have been truly remarkable in this tragedy. The overwhelming support from local churches, businesses, and volunteers underscores the resilience of Texas communities. The current focus remains appropriately on the affected families, the brave rescuers, and the indomitable spirit of Texas. Unfortunately, the mainstream media often seems more interested in pushing narratives than in showcasing the genuine heroism and faith evident in Texas. The heart-wrenching stories from Camp Mystic, where young girls were separated from their siblings and families, were desperate for news, remind us that community, faith, and family are what sustain us in such times. The calls for prayer from state leaders and faith-based organizations are a profound reflection of the values that help Americans endure through disasters. Despite the perilous conditions, raging floodwaters, submerged debris, and collapsed infrastructure, they've shown why local and state-led responses are so effective during crises. Now, with robust leadership from both Austin and the White House, there's a renewed focus on protecting American families and prioritizing their needs. As the search efforts continue, the nation watches not only the unfolding tragedy, but also the exemplary response. Neighbors helping neighbors, faith-inspiring action, and local leaders making a significant difference where it counts. While federal aid from President Trump's administration has been prompt, the real progress is being made locally. The urgency of enhancing real-time monitoring, improving infrastructure, and supporting local emergency services should take precedence over international expenditures or expanding federal agencies. Also, Texans are proactively addressing their challenges without solely depending on Washington.
And just praying and hoping that folks are able to get reunited with their families.
So, Scott, when you all do hear from people that need rescuing, what is the most common?
Often it's everyday Texans, neighbors, church volunteers, local sheriffs, who are the first to respond to these pleas for rescue, acting swiftly before larger agencies can mobilize. Families across Texas continue to face unimaginable uncertainty, clinging to hope that their loved ones will be found safe. The upcoming months will show whether our leaders can prioritize the urgent calls for help from ordinary citizens, their families, and those who know them best. This is the leadership America needs, exemplified by Texans in this current crisis. The shortcomings of the previous administration in disaster response highlight the dangers of silencing local voices in favor of bureaucratic control and global priorities. Experience shows that when individuals reach out to their local firehouse, sheriff's office, or church, help arrives more quickly and effectively. In these dire moments, the most common method of seeking help remains direct calls and messages to local authorities, first responders, and community organizations. This often leads to delays, confusion, and a one-size-fits-all approach that fails to address the specific needs of rural and small communities. Despite this, many in Washington and some on the left continue to advocate for top-down solutions, believing that only a large federal apparatus can ensure safety. The deep community and faith-based networks are crucial in turning potential tragedies into stories of survival. Instead of investing billions in foreign interventions or international projects, we should focus on enhancing our own safety measures, like real-time flood monitoring, robust local emergency services, and strong infrastructure. These local responders know the terrain, the families, and have a vested interest in the outcome.
Common way that do you just find them, or are people able to reach out with phones? And what's the most common way that they contact you to let you know that they need help?
Yeah, as far as right now, we've been getting our tasking from higher up, mostly from the Army as of right now. But a lot of it's just been large stage triaging. So we were at Mystic yesterday for a long period of time. Probably got about 200 people out of there alone. And it was just, we just saw a huge crowd of about 200 kids at a campsite. So we're like, cool, that's where we're going to go. And we're just going to get as many people out as we can. until they were all gone. We got them all out yesterday at Mystic. So.
Wow.
Hey, listen, first and foremost, we know this isn't easy for you all. You're doing God's work out there, and sometimes results aren't what you want them to be.
Their coverage accurately portrays the disaster's scale, from the rapid rise of the Guadalupe River to the destruction at Camp Mystic and the ongoing search for missing children. The resilience shown in Texas underscores the effectiveness of empowering local communities and first responders, emphasizing that our resources are best spent on strengthening local infrastructure and support systems. Yet Fox should ensure these human interest stories complement the call for practical reforms like real-time hydrological monitoring and mandatory evacuation drills for camps and flood zones. The visuals of devastated areas and the tireless efforts of rescue teams powerfully express the situation's gravity. This immediate personal response is something distant federal agencies and bureaucratic hotlines simply cannot replicate. Fox News has commendably showcased the heroism of first responders and the vital role of community networks. Acknowledging the quick mobilization under current leadership is crucial, yet viewers also need a balanced view of how state and local policies could be fortified to prevent future tragedies. This disaster serves as a stark reminder that America should prioritize domestic over international commitments. The coverage's visual storytelling featuring families awaiting news, volunteers distributing supplies, and faith leaders in prayer vividly captures the Texan spirit of community support and proactive action. The coverage could benefit from a deeper analysis of persistent vulnerabilities, such as the absence of a river-level warning system and the need for improved infrastructure in rural areas. Including insights from emergency management specialists, local engineers, and safety advocates would provide a more complete understanding of both immediate responses and long-term preventative measures. When the Army and National Guard are tasked by their superiors, it's the swift action and direct communication of these local teams, often through phone calls and personal contacts, that lead to the most effective rescues. The ongoing crisis has highlighted the determination and adaptability of local teams on the ground. And there you have it. Local responders, faith leaders, and everyday Texans exemplified this by stepping up, demonstrating that the best solutions often come from neighbors rather than Washington bureaucrats. The events in Texas were not only tragic, but also highlighted the resilience of American communities governing themselves. Despite the media often overlooking the roles of faith and community, we recognize where true resilience is found. We look forward to reading your comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you on the next one.